I think one of the area which is clearly lacking right now in the cyber posture management is your visibility to your external threat landscape. We do not have a clear sort of wisdom to understand what we are up against, and how do we go about actually preparing ourselves. Right now we are punching new tools after tools without even realizing how do we go about actually prioritizing our cyber posture management. And clearly visibility drives that clarity, and that's why we say that you first try to understand what you're up against, you try to understand your adversary landscape, you try to understand how those adversaries are looking at potentially actually attacking you, and how you look like from outside in perspective before you go back and start to put new tools. Now, by no means I'm saying that those tools are not important. You need all the tools. But I think it's super important for organizations to understand, first of all, what they are up against before they start to sort of, put in new tools. Hence, all the tools which you just named, despite of all that investment organizations have made, it hasn't been very, very successful because organizations have gone about actually rolling out tools without sort of marrying up their external threat landscape. And from cyber criminal perspective, I think all of a sudden Middle East region is a very, very important sort of target for them strategically. Also looking at some of the flourishing industry in this part of the world, which is oil and gas, retail, hospitality. Cyber criminals have started to take a lot of interest in these industries, and I think one of the things which we have actually advised a number of our customers, especially around how do you actually go about putting together your layer defense strategy, and then combine that with your segmentation strategy with visibility coming in together. I think that will give you a better way to better prepare yourself for the upcoming cyber attacks towards you. I think the second factor is also towards the way cybercrime has evolved itself. You have now new ways, new tools, new methods which cyber criminals are potentially using to come and attack us. Take example, phishing attack has been one of the most influential attack vector used by cyber criminals. Cyber criminals are now sort of figuring out a way to use deepfake to come and attack organizations, individual agencies. You have situations where ransomwares have evolved. You have cyber criminals who are available on rent. You can hire cyber criminals who are then being potentially deployed against specific industries or nations or individuals. So looking at overall schematic of things, what we are seeing in Middle East region, I think there are 4 factors which are playing very, very strongly here. I think from cybercrime perspective, ransomwares surely is one of the vector which cyber criminals are looking at sort of deploying. Number 2, I think there's a lot of actually interest, I would say geopolitical interest around this region. And everybody wants to actually understand how some of the things are being done in this part of the world and how do they actually go and capitalize on it. Number 3, I think misinformation or disinformation is another angle which we continue to see used by scammers or cyber criminals to kind of motivate particular community or particular set of industries to fall for a cybercrime. And the 4th part, I would say, is the sort of cross-pollination of different cultures is also playing a little bit of an influential factor on cybercrime. And I think AI ML has been spoken a lot in cyber context, but I think the applicability of AI ML models into cyber is still very, very in fancy state. you have, a number of cybersecurity companies talking about the way they have gone about actually deploying AI/ML models to deliver a better outcome or, a speedy outcome to their client and customers. But I think the way to look at AI/ML models and the way that whole ecosystem is evolving, we are going to be seeing, better connected, I would say, storyline, which organizations needs to understand before they go back deploying new tools or deploying new capability. I think the way to look at AI/ML and the evolution of AI/ML is how do you effectively collect the right quality of data and process data at the edge. Then you bring that data to your analysis, and how do you actually combine different things together to give the right outcome for organizations to respond back. And then how do you then go about actually, presenting that data in the right way and applying all other nuances of industry-specific, sort of trend to technology-specific trend to your geolocation-specific trend into the data to give the right outcome for organizations based on which they can take action upon. I think that's where I'm seeing a very, very clear trend right now. And CYFIRMA is already into that journey because day one when we started to actually visualize as to what we wanted to build, AI/ML was one of the things which we wanted to make sure that is deep into our ecosystem. I'm super excited to be partnering with Tech First Gulf. I think this partnership is going to bring a brand new category of cybersecurity to Middle East market. And given the influence of Tech First Gulf, I think we clearly see that this marriage is going to drive a lot of clarity, not only into client and customer space, but also in the cybersecurity community, because I clearly see that there's a lot of noise out there, which I think we together will have to solve and drive that clarity as to how organizations should be looking at their cyber posture management properly by combining external threat landscape visibility into their cyber posture management. Thank you very much for having me here. It was a great conversation.